Welcome again, and it's been a little while, isn't it? I have been in the wars again. I have some cracked ribs and a slightly sprained wrist on this one, so we've been no videoing. It's been going on for the last 3 days, and one is still in a lot of pain there. But anyway, never mind about that. On this little edition of J Shed, or the Shed, or whatever you want to call it, we've been looking at a very classic street light. A very common street light by a very old firm called AC Ford, which probably you think sounds like a car. AC Ford, it does, doesn't it? Or Ford AC. The AC Ford, and the particular lantern I've got on the bench at the moment that we'll look at in a sec, I've got it partly stripped down. We're going to put it together and we're going to file it up. This one dates from about roughly the late 70s, early 80s, going by the capacitor which is in there. This is an MBFU, which is a mercury vapor, 80 watt one. You could get 125 watts as well, but anyway, let's get into it and let's have a look at this now. So let's turn the camera around, so hold on because you're going to wobble a bit. Here we are. Right, let's see if we can just move the camera down a little bit. There we go. Okay then, so this is the AC Ford. I think it's the 850. If I could bring it a little bit closer. And these are really heavy, as you can just tell there. So this one I renovated up, and sprayed it round, made it all clean. Rewired it, always rewire these. I think this is the original ballast. I can't remember if I changed the ballast in this one. Basically, really simple, because MBFU, I mean, they're the most simplest lamps to to connect. It comes apart like that, as you see. It's in the camera. It comes apart in 2 bits. So you've got the top of it, which is the top of the cowl that goes over the top, and of course with this one we can see we've got AC Ford on there, and there's the photo cell, which most of these seem to have a really big photo cell, a NEMA cell on these. I've never seen any of these with a mini cell. Obviously they look the best if they're undrilled and operation has been by a time clock and so on. So this is the cowl, this is the top part, so that sits on there like that. We've got the spriget, which is again just the 2 Allen keys in there. I don't know if you can quite see that. Forget the camera, there's 2 Allen keys in there, and the whole thing is it's kind of sort of hinged. This is the ring that holds in the bowl on the front of it, or diffuser, whichever you want to call it. On the other side we have where the cabling comes in and where the business is all done. This one I cleaned up. This was a 3-pin lamp, but however, because we didn't have 3-pin in an 80 watt, only had 125 watts in a 3-pin. I had to change the lamp holder to a Edison screw. So basically the best way to deal with these lanterns should I say, is let's lay it in. I don't know if I can get it on there, but it actually slots in there. So if I put here we go, this would be an easier way to show this. I think you see that there. Yeah, there we go, that just slots round over there like that. We just make sure that all our wires are not trapped within, so it sits nicely on there. I can't remember if there's a seal on this. I don't think it is. I think it's a metal to metal seal. I'm not really quite sure on that. And then the whole thing is held together by, if I just get the loop up, by these screws that go in there, which I've actually got those, so we'll just put those in. These are the screws that hold in. So if I can just put this down a bit more, I'll show you how these go in. They just simply go in there. They should go in easy. But nothing's ever easy when you're doing a video, is it? If it's all going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong way on the video. So just get these 4 in. These weren't too badly, these weren't really not too badly seized actually. Always best to, whenever you do a renovation like this or anything like this, is just put some oil on, or you know, some waxy stuff, just so if you need to clean or do maintenance, it can come out easy again. So right, so there we go. Let's get that one in, and we've got the other two. There we go. So that's the 1, 2 and 1, 2 there. Notice as well that when I rewired this, although this part, really the wiring should be all sheath because of the heat on these things, but near the lamp I've got some sheathing on there and a ceramic porcelain joint block. Mercury bulbs get incredibly hot. I always used to think that mercury vapor lamps was a cool light, which meant they didn't give off much heat, but boy do they get hot, like what we're going to look at on the another video, the 500 watt GRS lamp. We've still got that video coming, just waiting for the correct weather, because I don't want to set those lamps up and we're outside and then it starts spitting with rain, because then we're going to have a classic glass explosion all over the backyard, which I don't want to happen really. Anyway, right, okay, so there we go. Now I don't know if you can see, maybe I can get it on the video. Yeah, there's some like little clips here that come out. Yeah, there's one there. That one's broke off unfortunately, so that won't hold it. Now these actually hold the, there we go. Right, so here we have the bowl. Now these bowls, very difficult to get one that isn't discoloured like this. Two things: it's the infrared ray that the lamp gives out that discolours the plastic, and also just weathering and age and heat. So these can end up pretty. This one was number 3. I think this one come from Buckinghamshire. I think this one come from. I've checked with my good collector supplier, Mr. James. I'll see where this one come from. But yeah, very hard to get a clear one of these. But when it's lit up, it's not too bad. So basically, this just goes in this hoop like this, and that sits in there like that. Now that sits in there like that, and then little clips should go over, that's it, and then hold the bowl in like that. I really need to replace these because they're pretty rusty and they don't really do the job. Notice I haven't got a seal in this yet, so but most important thing to do is to put in the mercury vapor lamp. Yes, my friends, I have rebuilt lanterns, put them all back together, and then can't get them to work, and the simple thing is I have forgotten to put the lamp into the lantern. Yes, that goes over like that, simple as that. If I just spin it round, there we go, we've got a clip there. Simple clip, just reaches up over onto that. You have to mess around with these a little bit because they can be pretty stubborn. There we go, to get in there. Then that little clip just clips on there like that, and that just clips down. Because it's an old lamp, a lot of the clip pressure on that isn't particularly great. Now we need a photo cell. So here we're going to use a Royce Thompson Oasis 2000. These are very popular in my area, hence why I've got loads and loads of these photo cells. Also come in different colours and wattages, not wattages, well, it is wattage, isn't it? Yeah, 2 lots of 400, yeah, different colours. Well, that sits on there. Now this is what I mean about these lamps, these lanterns having these massive photo cells on the top. Look, very odd, very odd. I think a mini cell would have been slightly better on there, but there we go. So this is what the lantern look. Now you can recognise what lantern it is. You know, these actually know these. It's a really classic old looking design, but not quite as old as we're led to think. Fairly heavy. It's all made out of, I think it's all cast iron or just metal. I don't think it's not, definitely not aluminium. So there we go. Now then, now we are going to fire this up. So let's see if I can get a very good picture of this. We've got left on the camera, we've got about 2 minutes left on the camera, so hopefully I can get this and hopefully it'll work, which it should do. We'll see if we can get it to, is it going to go? There we go, there she goes. There's that. I've got to put my hand over the photo because otherwise it's not gonna, it's gonna switch itself off. There we are. There, the classic MBFU lamp. There we go. So we'll just have a look, see what this is on there. This is a really nice light. The optics on here are really quite amazing for these. But these were an extremely popular street light. I remember seeing a lot of these in the north part of Cambridgeshire and also in Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire used an awful lot of these, and Birmingham fairly popular, not as popular as the Revo Horizons that they had there. I think it's Horizons. Revo Diomeds and Diomeds, something like that. But this is a lovely lamp. This was actually outside in the garden for a while. I used it one summer. So when we was having barbecues and parties, this was really light in the garden up lovely. It is a lovely lantern. So there we go. Yes, 80 watts of lovely mercury vapourness going on there. There we go. And let's see if we can just turn the light off quickly. See if we can... There we are. Yeah, so there you go. We can actually see it now in all its glory and all its niciness. Put the light back on. So there we are, and that will turn itself off eventually.